Well, hello everybody.
Hi. Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, we're back to Wednesday. We've abandoned Tuesday. Blame Whitney. Also blame Whitney for not being here tonight. So
Yeah,
Whitney,
I just noticed that. I was like, wait a minute, where's Whitney?
you employ these people on the other side of the Atlantic and they're totally unreliable, just like their president. I mean, what more can you say, Mr. 10%?
I am reliable. Anyway.
Okay.
What are we talking about today, Mark?
Well, I've decided we're going to, instead of doing our little nice casual 3 getting boring, decided to liven it up. And we're going to do 6 streams on 6 subjects that make me ballistically angry when I see people or come across this in mediumship. So tonight, it's not people, let's be quite clear about this. We're not talking about people who are open without understanding that they're open. And although obviously we are going to cover that so that you know what we're talking about. But what really irritates me is when you go into a Facebook circle or you go out and about and you speak to groups of people that should know better, and you come across people, and big secret, most of them are American, that basically say, I'm a good medium because I'm always open, and you should always be open because that shows how good a medium. And my point at that is I take my fist and really, I haven't actually hit anybody yet, but I really feel like hitting them because they don't know what they're doing. They're putting themselves in danger. So yeah, caring medium, I really don't want them to hurt themselves. Actually, seriously.
Right. It just annoys him, right?
Yeah, it really annoys me. But seriously,
you need to chill, Mark. It's going to be okay.
Yeah,
most of the people,
most of the people
always open don't know that they're supposed to close.
And is ignorance of the law any self-defense for murder?
This is not a law.
No, but come on. Every person that says that in a circle comes across 10 other people that don't know what they're doing because they're just starting. They've maybe been taught open and close in the circle. And then this Luddite, and that in British history, that is about the worst insult I can give somebody. Go look it up, folks. Luddite, L-U-D, I think it's Lud, I-T-E. It's a British, Scottish, English terminology from 200 years ago, before there was an America. Let's put it that way. That's how far back we're going. Industrial Revolution time. No, I think the Americans were around, so that there was an American then. It was the Industrial Revolution, and it was the people that wanted to still use spinning wheels. And so they went around destroying, basically burning down factories, that kind of thing. A bit like your modern age. Not looking at anybody in particular, Devi. I don't use AI. I'll never use AI.
Well, everybody has to, but there is a limit on AI. That's a whole different story.
And not for tonight.
Okay. We're not talking about that today. What we're talking about is, and I agree, it can be very detrimental to a medium to be open all the time, or to anybody to be open all the time. I didn't know, for instance, I had no idea that I was supposed to close or how to close.
Devi, I agree with you. And for people that, I mean, come on, 75% of the people that come to the free training events that we run are open without realizing it.
Oh, yeah.
And most of them don't go for the training for obvious reasons. They're just coming along for curious. Oh, we'll take advantage of the free training. Fine. We know that when we're doing it. But at the very least, at the very minimum, we teach them how to close, what signs to look for, and hopefully they're now getting good night's sleep. Anyway, before we bombard, or before I get to rant and rave any further, news and updates. There's a lot. So, first off, as you probably discover, if you're not watching this because you're sitting waiting for us on Tuesday, excuse me, we're now doing these on Wednesday again.
Yeah.
Blame it on Whitney, who's not here because her schedule changed, so we changed it back to the Wednesday. What else? So there's that. The newsletter that should have come out at the beginning of the month is now a week and a bit late. It'll be coming out before the week, either at the weekend or, if not, I have to write it, but tomorrow or Friday or Saturday.
Mark's had a lot going on, so bear with us on the newsletter.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on. basically, excuse me, it'll tell you all about the 6 talks, including this one. There'll be a link to the video for this one, so you can go and look at it in the newsletter if you haven't seen it. So if you're seeing this in the newsletter, well, okay, you're catching up kind of after you get the newsletter. There'll be details of the next 5 on the same subject, the things I want to rant and rave about. The walks with Marc and Ying on Sunday, the other major streaming events. There's one every weekend coming up. We have cut the circles down dramatically. I've already covered this, but there's 2 of them. There's 2 of them coming up. We'll try and get the newsletter out before the one that's due this Sunday, and then there's one due 2 weeks later. Not going to go into what's been going on in my background life, but hopefully I'm going to have a lot more spare time. Well, it's not spare time. I'm going to have a lot more time to focus on the mediumship.
Focus on the work.
Whereas I've been having to focus time on my wife's podiatry business for the last 3 months. Yes, I'm going on holiday with my wife. I have reached out to a couple of spiritualist churches. Do you want a joke, Debbie? There's a place in Northern Ireland called Bangor. There's a place called Wales called Bangor. Now, I kind of knew...
There's a place in the United States called Bangor, too.
Yeah. So I kind of knew that there was only one decent big spiritualist church in the whole of Ireland. Well, there is actually another one, but let's just call it Northern Ireland. So I told AI, because I haven't been there for about 12 years, go and do a search for any spiritualist churches, and it came back for a nice big long list, including the Spiritualist Church of Bangor. Oh, I'm coming on holiday. I got a really nice email back this morning from Wales. Thank you for the offer, but we're not in Northern Ireland. Enjoy your holiday.
Whoops, wrong one.
Don't blame me. Blame the AI system.
Blame yeah. Blame AI. I like to blame AI, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. So anyway, it's actually a working holiday. My wife and I are going over there to go look at a company that does gait scanning equipment that we're thinking about taking into the clinic. So if you're watching this, because we link into the podiatry websites and groups, okay, fine, we're talking about podiatry. So it's an excuse to take a week's holiday. We're going to be in Belfast. We'll go, a nice, joyful, relaxing, happy holiday. We're going to look at the museum about the Titanic, sinking ships.
Yeah.
But it will get spiritual because we're going to try and go and look at some of the sites of Game of Thrones when they were filmed in Northern Ireland. Then we're jumping in the car and we're driving down south to go to Dublin. So the majority of the time will be in Dublin, where I have been before for a holiday. Love the place. And of course, although they are European, they speak English, so they're nice people. But they're still paying 25%. That's 25% import duty.
Let's not even go there. You'll get me upset, and then I'll be the angry medium.
Yeah, that's about all of it. Oh, except to say that the holiday is also doubling up for my birthday. That's the excuse, apart from doing a business trip. And I am going to buy myself one of these new drones from DJI that will track you and walk you when you do your walks. So the camera shots for the walks on Sunday are going to get very different very soon.
Oh, goodness. That sounds exciting.
Yeah. And there's at least 2 castles. Devi, castles.
Yay!
There's at least 2 castles in the videos that we're doing this month. Okay, that's everything I can remember.
Is that all the news?
That's all the news for now. It's all the news I'm going to talk about for now.
That works.
So, here's a few pictures from one of the videos that we're putting up. So if you had any doubts that we were in Scotland, it's actually the southern tip of the most northern bit that the Romans got to. So we're walking past a bit of the wall. That's my wife. That's Ying, who is also a spiritualist. She's coming with me. So that's about it. I did say that there's an open circle this weekend. We're actually running another advert. We're experimenting. Okay, it's more news. We've changed the advert. This is the new advert. I'm Marc Stuart, the Scottish medium. People say I'm aggressive. I say I just don't have time for bad mediumship. Blame my brutally effective Scottish training. Come to a free training event and see what all the fuss is about. Warning, you might actually get good. We go direct. We have zero tolerance for calling out. We only give evidential messages. Again, zero tolerance for waffle or messages that don't make any sense to the sitter. Use the button in this advert to book your slot on Calendly, and I look forward very much to proving in person via Zoom exactly what I'm talking about. So you can see from the tone of the advert, we decided to be a bit more what Marc's really like is a nice, caring person.
Yes. What's he really like? He's annoying.
Okay, so back to my rant and rave for this
Go
month.
ahead and rant.
Yeah, it really irritates me, and I mean to the point where I want to put my fist in the medium's face. And I'm not going to call them mediums, but when I come across somebody in a circle or in a church who makes a statement along the lines of, I know what I'm doing, I'm always open so that spirit can always talk to me.
Yes, well, that's not good. Because A, it's bad for them physically and mentally. And because I know, because I was open for 50 years before I learned how to close. It was horrible. So
yeah, and I claim that I cured her of her sleepless nights.
Yes, he actually did. The first night he showed me how to close is the first night I'd slept through the night in decades. So yeah, it was pretty miraculous.
Trust me, the first time I met her, she was a cranky old, and the second time I met her, she was a sweet old. So it did work.
It did help. It helped with my chronic pain too, to be honest.
Yeah. But what makes me angry, it's not the self-harm they do to themselves, because they should know better. I mean, if they're in a circle, somebody at some point in the circle has taught them how to open and close.
Not necessarily. If they are in American circles, most, I'm not going to say all, some do. Most online American circles do not teach you how to open and close.
Okay.
And that's where you're going to find the people that say, I'm open all the time because I'm open to spirit.
Yeah. But there's two really negative effects to that. Number one, they're teaching a bad habit, and it's not a bad habit. It's self-harm. They're putting other people in danger. I mean, okay, this is going to seem like an extreme question, but if you were running a nursery for young children and you looked at the CV of somebody and you saw they had been to jail for child molesting, would you employ them in the child clinic? Of course you would. I mean, that's not a serious question. But that's the scale of anger I feel. And yeah, I am actually angry at people that tell people to be open.
Marc, you're going to give yourself a stroke. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. It's not that big a deal. There's no reason to get angry at people who don't know better.
But it's people that don't know better I can live with. It's people that tell other people.
Okay, the people that tell other people to be open all the time. Okay. Yeah. It's still not a good idea to punch anybody, but yeah. I'm not
getting angry at people that are open that don't know. They've had a, oh, come on, Devi, you know what happens. Somebody goes through an event in life, somebody dies, they're ill, there's some sort of tragedy, some sort of emotional upset, and all of a sudden they're open, they're getting messages from spirit. Okay, they get over whatever it is that's affected them. They give a couple of messages. They don't know how to close. They really don't know what they're doing. So they go and try and learn. They go to a circle. And then this effing idiot tells them, oh, that's great. Yes, wonderful. Go through life like that.
However, I'm guessing that many of the people who brag that they're always open don't know how to close.
Okay, yeah, I'll give them that. Stupidity, but never mind.
It's just stupidity, and yeah, there's no reason to get angry.
Yeah,
I understand.
The second thing that makes me angry, that really, really makes me angry, is that they make all of us look bad. Now, what do I mean by that?
Yes,
I'm going to use a metaphor that I use in training. Think of spiritual communication as a very low river, or a big pool of water, maybe say 1 centimeter deep. You're the medium and you're standing in this pool of water and it's dripping along past you. You can hear the water, you can see it, you can feel it, but you're not getting any meaningful communication out of it because it's too weak, because you're so run down, you're open constantly, and at any one time you've maybe got 20 or 30 spirits trying to talk to you because you're open, here we are. And you don't, you've not had okay, there's more to it than just being open, but basically, if you think that you should always be open, you've not had the proper training, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Somebody that knows how to open and close, it's like a water dam. So you've got a narrow entrance, you've got the water level rising up behind the dam. When you open, the water comes through like that, and it's very powerful. So all of a sudden, you're hearing the spirit yelling at you with a megaphone, as opposed to putting your ear down to hear this whisper. Excuse me. So, number one, the few of us, and relatively speaking, the number of, I'm not going to say good mediums, I'm just going to say mediums that know what they're doing. Because if I say good mediums, then the implication is that I'm a good medium, and I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I know what I'm doing.
He is a good medium, by the way, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, but she said it, I didn't.
Right.
Quite clear, Spirit. I didn't say that. She did. But the number of mediums that know what they're doing, that are giving good evidential messages in proportion to the number of people sitting in circle that all think they're mediums and are getting, Spirit said something about the colour red. Do you have red blood, perhaps?
Instead of, oh, I see a red late model truck, probably 1940s with sideboards, something much more specific.
And you know the invoice that you've currently got sitting in the passenger seat? Yeah. I mean, I'm not joking. I have given, I'm going to sound egotistical. I have given readings where I've actually said things like that. I've seen mediums that have said things like that. All in Scotland, but never mind. But the point is, general Joseph public, because there's so many people that are giving the the colour red like that in that example, dwarfs the number of people that are doing this properly and giving proper evidential media readings. So, I mean, Devi, different subject, but your impression of mediumship before you came to my first circle.
Yes, I thought, even though I was open and I talked to spirits myself, and I had since a very young age, probably about 2 or 3, I thought all mediums were frauds, because the only thing I'd ever seen is somebody up on stage going, oh, I have a man named John and he's got gray hair and a mustache. Can anybody take that? And of course, I could take all of those people that she brought forward. And I wasn't even there. So
yeah,
I just assumed everybody was like that and mediums are all frauds.
Now, that was calling out versus going direct, and I'm going to rant and rave about that. But that's a side effect of only hearing the whisper, because they're not going direct. The spirit is not able to guide them to the person that they want to communicate to because it's such a weak signal, and they're always open. Okay, it's about 3 or 4 different things we're all talking about there, and they all do mesh together and overlap with all the things I'm going to scream about over the next 6 weeks. But let's narrow it down and stay focused. That's just a perfect example of hearing the whisper as opposed to hearing the megaphone. Right, Devi. So now we've established what I'm angry about, and you've failed to calm me down. You've only wound me up with that clear definition.
Oh, dear, Mark. Just take a deep breath.
What are we going to do about these people?
We are going to let them live and educate them if we can. Have them watch this video.
Are you going to spend the money to advertise and educate them? I'm not.
No, I'll just do it as I see them. Yeah.
Yeah. So, folks, joking apart, if you see this video, and if you're going to type a message saying, I'm open, I'm always open, contact us. Come to one of our free circles. If you're watching this video and you don't know what we're talking about, here's a simple checklist for you. Do you have sleepless nights? Yes or no? Do you waking up in the middle of night on a regular basis? I mean, the times don't matter, but let's say you're suddenly waking up at 6 minutes past 4 every second night of the week, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If the answer to that is yes, come and see us. Do you go through life where you're getting tireder and tireder? I mean, you can literally on a daily basis feel yourself going like that until after an extended period of time, you collapse in a heap for 2 or 3 days. You take the time off work. You just literally don't have the energy to do anything. If the answer to that is yes, then any of those 3, come and see us. Now, what do I mean by come and see us? We'll put a link up at the end of the training circles that we do. We're currently doing 2 free open circles a month. Just go to the Calendly link as described in the advert at the front. If you're seeing this video, there'll be a link in the text. Book a time, come to the open circle. If nothing else, we will teach you how to open and close. It is a sales event. It's a free event to get people to come and pay us for the proper training, but you can come along and just sit and get guidance on how to open and close.
Mm-hmm.
Or go to Amazon.
It's really important. It's really important.
Or you can go to Amazon and buy my book on the subject, because I am
That's
the
true.
only, as far as I know, I'm the only medium that's actually published a book on the subject. That's how seriously I take this. And the book is actually way out of date. I do need to go and do a revision of it, but never mind.
Yeah, you probably need to update it.
Yeah, because all the links and information that is way out of date.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, sorry.
That's just something else on your list.
No, I need to calm down. I need to calm down.
Calm down, Mark. Deep breaths. No need to get angry about all this stuff.
You don't get angry. People don't pay attention to you. I mean, I'm a
That's
Scotsman.
not true. Speak softly and carry a big stick.
Well, I mean, there's one of my compatriots. I mean, look at him. Look at the face.
Well, he looks like he's crying.
Yeah, but look at the nettles.
Well, yeah, of course. It hurts.
Now, that is actually a picture from one of the videos that we're going to be streaming this month for the walks with Mark and Ying in Bowness, but never mind. I'm getting sidetracked.
Oh, interesting.
Seriously getting sidetracked. Okay, so where are you going to find these idiots? Like, what I mean is, if you
Don't call them idiots. Most of them are just unknowledgeable, uninformed.
Okay. I'm trying to think of a polite way to describe them as idiots without calling them idiots. Americans? Where will you meet these Americans?
Ooh, that'd be fighting words, Mark. Now I'm getting angry.
Well, look at your leader, Mr.
Hey,
President.
he's not my leader. He's not.
He's your head of state.
I don't give a fuck. Excuse me. Yeah. I don't give one of those.
That makes him your leader.
I do not claim him.
You may disagree with him. You may hate the very bones or the soil he walks in, but he's still your head of state.
He's not mine. Nope.
Oh,
if all those people during Obama's presidency can say he's not my president, well, then I can say it now.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Anyway, where are you likely to come across these nice people that don't know any better? Right, circles. So if you go to any circle, I suppose let's do a checklist for you. If you go to an online Zoom circle, first thing you look for is, does the person leading the circle take everybody through opening and closing? If they don't do that at the beginning of the circle, don't go. Second, can you join the circle halfway through it? Like, if you see the circle, if you see a time on the circle and you turn up half an hour late and they just say, oh, come on in, come and join us, then don't. Just at that point, click out and don't go, because the circle
that disrupts the circle.
Yeah, exactly. And they're letting people in that are not going to be open. Now, okay, that if it's a medium that's joining, if it's somebody that knows what they're doing, that's different. But if they don't ask you to say, do you know how to open before you join, then just say, oh, sorry, this is the wrong circle for me, and leave. Number 3, just ask a general question. Like if you're at the beginning, just say, if the circle leader hasn't opened people up, they might just say, oh, I just leave it to individual people. There's 30 people in the circle. I just leave it to an individual. It's a bad sign, but
that's not a good sign if there's 30 people. And I mean, if there's 3 people, maybe everybody open by themselves. But if there's 30, no.
Yeah.
There's people who don't know how to do that.
I just picked a number out. I just picked a number out of the thin air.
Oh, I know. I'm saying anything over a few people, you definitely need to delete it.
Type of question. Does who here is open, or I don't know how to open. Could somebody give me some tips on how to open and close? And that'll draw people out. I guarantee you'll get at least 3 or 4 people saying, oh, don't worry about it. I'm always open. And if you're open, just stay open. If that happens and the circle leader doesn't shoot them down, or anyway, that's a bad sign.
Yeah.
I suppose that's about it. I mean, I can give you other signs of bad circles if people are calling out as opposed to going direct, but that's a different subject.
We'll talk about that next week, maybe. Maybe if that's next week, yeah, we'll talk about that.
I can't remember what we're doing next week, but yeah.
I don't know which one. We'll talk about something next week.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's time to wrap it up because
it is time. We got 3 minutes left.
Let me just go through our usual end of video bits and pieces.
All the links.
The links. So, if you would like to come to one of our circles, go to Scott Spirit Raining. Note, there's only a single T. Scott Spirit Raining, not training. Not going into our branding, but that's the website to come to a circle. If you would like to get a newsletter, which will be coming out within the next 2 days, with all the links to all the videos and streamed events that we talked about, plus there'll also be a Mark with cards somewhere this month.
Oh, good. No, good. I was wondering when the next one of those was going to be.
markstuartmedium.com/newsletter. Now, we should have covered this in the news, but I think we've said it enough times. You will probably see us on Facebook, but Facebook have started this new policy of deleting all streamed events 30 days after their broadcast. So go to YouTube at Scottish Medium, and you'll find that's our YouTube channel. Now, we've got everything we've talked about, plus training material, plus lectures, plus interviews, plus examples of me working.
Oh, so much for you to just go and look at. Yes.
Basically, there's enough to keep you going there for God knows how long. So please do. As just said, I will be doing a live streamed event where I will do readings with cards at some point this month. We've already talked about the walks with Mark and Ying. We're going to try and do one every Sunday moving forward, but maybe not every Sunday, but we'll do our best. Already said that. And that is the actual link if you want to book the circle. So calendly.com/markstuartmedium/open-circle-workshop. I'll leave that one up. Anything else you want to add to that? Any of that?
I think I don't think so. And I just think that I started talking very Southern all of a sudden. That was very strange. Sometimes the accent just kind of pops out.
I thought you came from the north.
I did. But I've been in the South. I did. I'm a Yankee, but I've lived in the South for 30 years. So you pick it up.
Fair enough.
Yeah, if I lived in Scotland for 30 years, I'd be speaking Scottish. So yeah.
There's people that have lived here their entire life and still speak English.
But I pick things up. I'll be talking to somebody British and I'll start answering.
Pay attention to what I said. That was a joke.
Oh, I missed me. It wasn't a good joke then.
There are people that have lived in Scotland all their lives and still speak English.
They speak English. Yes, of course they do.
Unlike the Americans that have lived in America all their life and don't speak a word of English.
Yeah, many of them don't.
Okay, folks, it's been a pleasure. Remember, wherever you see this on Facebook, go find us on YouTube. There's a lot more there than we've even hinted at. Been a pleasure, and we shall see you on Sunday for a walk. We shall see
you on Sunday for a circle.
And we'll see you next Wednesday, not Tuesday, for our next conversation.
And my cat wants to stop here, so yeah.
Good night, good morning, or good afternoon, depending on what zone you're in.